Hi everybody, I'm Teresa Perrin and I want to discuss AVCT with you because this week I believe that we are going to see the price increase by 2 to 3 times its current price. And I'm going to get into why in this video. Please remember, nothing I say is financial advice. Always do your own DD. And in order for this to happen, we need volume to come in. So please remember that. Let's get started. If you could smash that like button for me, I'd greatly appreciate it, as it helps with the algorithm and to spread the word about why AVCT should get a significant move higher this week. Okay, so currently AVCT is giving off 5 bullish and only 1 bearish signals, and it's showing a strong bullish signal overall with a move higher for the short and medium term. Today, our volume was only less than half of its normal volume, guys, and this is the only thing that I could see standing in our way right now. Currently, it's showing that our 3-month average is 3.64 million shares, and today we only traded 1.74 million, which is almost exactly half. And this, guys, is generally a sign that you see volume slow down right before a big move. And I do believe that that's what we're going to have coming. We will get into technical analysis at the very end of the video. And there I'll explain to you why I believe we're going to move higher. It essentially has to do with the warrants that are due. But the 52-week low is 78 cents and the 52-week high is $35.40. And our free float is roughly 30.22 million. Now, keep in mind, if those warrants do come into play, that will decrease our float. I believe it's 10 million shares worth of warrants, but I'd have to go back and look to double check. To be perfectly honest with you, I am playing this for that move higher right now. All right. As far as those of you new to the play, I just want to review this with you. There is 20.20% institutional ownership in this stock, only 2.32% corporate, and 0.86% insiders. So this is primarily a retail-owned stock with 76.62% ownership. Surprisingly enough, even though our volume was so low today, 63% of all trades were done in the dark pool. And that's been much higher than normal because the volume in the dark pool has only been 34% on average in the past 20 days. The sweep orders were almost non-existent. It was 1% of the total volume, and large block trades only accounted for 8% of today's volume. And the average has been 11% over the past 20 days. So everything was just low overall today. And I do believe that essentially this is considered like the calm before the storm, right? So hopefully tomorrow we're going to see a massive breakout. If not tomorrow, then Wednesday. But generally when stocks have big moves, oftentimes it happens on Tuesdays. And we do have a catalyst tomorrow with Powell speaking. It will move the market most likely in one direction or the other. And I believe he's speaking in the morning, guys. All right, the short interest is currently showing at 8.54% according to Fintel, and it would take them 1.47 days to cover, and that's just because the volume has been so low. Now, interestingly enough, actually let me stop. Okay, interestingly enough, they were still shorting the stock today, guys, which I'm puzzled by this, but I guess I shouldn't be because there's always going to be shorts in every single play. Even Kava, that's been running like crazy, still has a high short interest, and I can't explain why they wouldn't have covered back when it was 80-something cents. But guys, I don't understand the method to the shorts madness, but it is what it is. But if you look at a high today, there were 85,000 shares available to short, and right now we're down to the last 30,000. So clearly they've been either accruing these or trying to keep the price down because, like I said, I believe they're trying to move this up even on the low volume, and that's because they want to put those $1.80 warrants into play, and they want to do this before AVCT is able to sell more shares. So please, if you are holding this, go back and watch my most recent video on AVCT where I really get into the breakdown of what is going on. And this is more of an update, and obviously I'm explaining to you why I think that it's going to 2 or 3x, and it is based on those warrants, and I'll explain more in the technical analysis section. However, the cost to borrow right now is between 31.43 and 35.98%. Now, I've noticed that cost to borrow has been slowly coming down, guys. The short volume ratio, which again, for those of you unfamiliar, is the amount of shares that are shorted in the dark pool, where we know the majority of trades took place today, was 51.06%. As you can see here, for the last 2 weeks, 10 trading days, it's been between 48.71 and 58.37%. So essentially every day it's been either at 50% or more, or very close to. And this, guys, is how they are able to keep total control over the price. And I believe with the very low volume that we've had recently, they've been able to control the price very easily. And as you can see, failure to delivers do not come into play with this stock. Let's take a look. All right, guys, so taking a look at the technical analysis, as you can see, we have had 7 green days in a row, which is very nice to see. And we are moving up very, very slowly, but I believe that that is about to change this week, because they need to drive this price above $1.80 and enough to make it worth their while to use those warrants prior to AVCT having the ability to do an offering, which opens up, I believe, on or about January 16th. So as far as I'm concerned, they have approximately 1 week to get this play moving quickly to the upside. And generally, when they want to use those warrants, their goal is to make them worth twice as much as the cost. However, that is not always the case, but that's generally what we tend to see. So that would leave us around $3.60. And we do have that gap fill, as I've mentioned previously. But before we get into that, let me just show you real quickly. We have the green line and red line on our MACD. As you can see here, the green line is starting to cross up above this wave, which we want to see happen, and the red line to remain above the green line, and both of them to be above this wave. Now, looking at the RSI, which is right above it, you see the blue line here, around 68. So we want to keep this above 50. So right now, everything is looking very bullish in this chart. And most importantly, guys, I'm going to take off, if I can, on the screen, the 200-day moving average so that you can see this a little bit better. Okay, there you go. So the 200-day moving average is way up above 4. I'm not even going to put that into thought right now, but the green is the 13, the blue is the 20, and the purple is the 48. And right now it's very bullish because the green, the 13, has crossed above the 20, and the 20 has crossed above the 48. Both of those are trading above the 48 SMA. Ultimately, we want to see all 3 of these start to curl up and move towards that $4 mark where the 200 SMA is sitting. But even more importantly, guys, we closed above the 200-day, above the VWAP, which is very, very bullish. I like what I'm seeing here. I think it looks good. I want to go back and look at a smaller time frame. All right, so if we're looking at the 5-minute chart, I think what you're going to see is the green. We're going to get a little bit of a pullback, which is normal, for the green to cross under the purple prior to it curling back around, just like we saw right down here. If you look where the green and the purple meet, I'd like to see that happen again and us to make another leg higher. I do want to take a look at a 4-hour chart. Let me see how this is set up. Perfect. Excellent, guys. We have the green curled above the pink, which means that we, on the 4-hour chart, our 13 has crossed above the 48, and it's both curling to the upside, so this looks really good as well. The only thing I'd like to see is us to get more volume in. That's what we're going to need to give this a significant push higher. So, you know what? Hopefully that's going to come. I'd like to think that something bullish maybe gets announced or something to drive the price. Because if they want to use those warrants, this is the week that they're going to have to do it, in my opinion. I think that they're going to create something to get this chart moving in an upwards direction. So just real quickly so you can see, everything's looking very nice. We've had nice movement for the past week. I really like this chart, guys, and I think this is going to be our week. So that's what I got for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to an exciting week ahead for AVCT. Have a great night.